In the Hudson blue uniforms, they'll be moving from left to right toward downtown Norfolk. FIU in the black uniforms with the white trim, moving right to left towards the world's largest naval base. And wherever you may be on this Saturday, glad to have you aboard. Conference USA men's basketball. Old Dominion with the first possession. Austin Trice takes the 16-foot jumper and hits it. A good start for Trice, who lit up the Panthers down in Miami in December to the tune of 25 points, 9 rebounds, and 4 assists.
Trice can get that shot anytime because he's known to be a driver, not a guy who's going to pull up from 15.
Lovett goes to the big fella Pinckney, and this is Brewer. Brewer will shoot from anywhere, and he proves it there with a long three that's off the back of the iron. No good, but the Panthers come up with the rebound. Brewer again for 3. That's good. Tevin Brewer just 2 for 10 against Charlotte on Thursday, puts the Panthers in front with his first 3.
What a volume shooter, and that first shot he took was at least from 26 feet out.
Here's Jalen Hunter running the attack for Old Dominion. To Trice at the top of the circle, guarded man-to-man by Pinckney, the 7-footer. Trice takes it down, dishes into the corner. A 3 from Mekhi Long is no good. Rebound batted from Ezekpe to Long, quickly to Hunter and C.J. Kaiser. Good effort there from Ezekpe to keep the ball alive. Here's Kalu, who went for 17 points, 17 rebounds Thursday. Back to Jalen Hunter, who hits a 3.
And you have to credit the big fellow Kalu. He took a couple of dribbles, and he's been playing so well. FIU had to come down and double, and he made the easy pass for Jalen Hunter.
Pinckney to Lovett. This is Brewer. Man-to-man defense from Old Dominion. Banks gets the ball to Lovett. Lovett was their leading scorer Thursday at Charlotte. Here's Brewer once again. Brewer, alley-oop. Tries to get it to his teammate Banks, couldn't get it done, but they get the ball back, and Lovett will hoist a 3. That's no good. Rebound comes down to Pinckney. Pinckney to Lovett. Wide open 3. No good. Had as good a look at that one as you could ask for, but he couldn't come up with the bottom of the net.
Very lucky. Those rebounds from those long jump shots, they bounce out long. And FIU's been able to take advantage of those opportunities to get second shot opportunities.
Trice working the blocks on the left side against Pinckney. Turns, spins, fires, and hits. Austin Trice, 2 for his first 2, and it's 7-3 Old Dominion. 17:36 to play in the first half. Brewer gets the ball to Cleavon Brown. Brown on the right wing working against Ezekpe. Now he takes it down to the block, shoulders him a little bit, turns, spins. Good defense from Kalu, gets the ball back to Banks. Banks takes it in the paint. Shut down there by Mekhi Long. Back to Lovett with 8 to shoot. Lovett tries to go behind his back for the ball. Great defense from the Monarchs, so the fans love it here. The Panthers couldn't figure out what to do.
Well, the ball stuck that time. The FIU, the Panthers, they couldn't get the ball out of their hands. They were just holding it, dribbling it, and the ball never moved to the other side of the floor.
Hunter and Mekhi Long into the front court to our right. Ezekpe had the double-double last game. Hunter down low, Trice blocked there by Lovett, and they're going to call a foul on Eric Lovett, who got a lot of ball and some of Trice, and we'll have our first free throws.
You know, Ted, I think Trice was so wide open. He did not anticipate getting it, because normally he flushes that, he dunks that. He ran a nice baseline cut, and he was wide open there. And as you can see, that's normally a dunk for him.
Lovett said no, and they'll risk the 52% free throw shooter with a couple of shots.
Which means that's a good foul. You want to send a free throw shooter who's not that good from the free throw line to the line to make him earn his keep.
Austin misses the first. He'll get one more with Old Dominion on top 7-3. 17:05 to go, first half action from Chartway Arena in Norfolk. 37 degrees outside, cloudy skies, and Trice bricks the second one, so he goes 0 for 2 from the stripe. Pinckney, the rebound, quickly finds Brewer. The 5'8" redshirt junior from Fort Smith, Arkansas. Pinckney, one bounce back to Brewer. Boy, he's quick with that basketball, working against Jalen Hunter. Swats Hunter away, pushes him off, sets up for a long 3. 13 to shoot, a lot of dribbling, that's what he does. Skip pass into the corner, quickly out to Lovett. He catches and shoots, and that's no good. Trice, the box out of Pinckney for the rebound.
That's the type of defense that we were talking about. Old Dominion had to play is close out on those shooters when they get the basketball.
Here's Kaiser to the right baseline. His jump shot's no good. Rebound comes down, batted around, finally comes into the waiting arms of Isaiah Banks, and he gets it to Brewer. Brewer to Banks. Banks against C.J. Kaiser. Goes to the left block to Brown. Brown against Ezekpe. Brings it back outside. Lovett will try another three. This one from straight away. That one's no good. Another rebound for Austin Trice, the leading rebounder in Conference USA play. This is Hunter. He'll take a three. That's rattling around and no good. Lovett the rebound as we go end to end. A little racehorse basketball here in Norfolk to start things. 15:50 to go first half. Old Dominion 7, FIU 3. Make that ODU 7, FIU 6 as Isaiah Banks connects from the right corner.
That was a turn of events. Hunter, although he was open, that was a shot. I don't think you want to take that early in the shot clock. The Panthers didn't have to move at all on defense.
Long left side to Kaiser. Kaiser working around a screen from Ezekpe back to Long. Long down low to Trice on the right blocks. Over Pinckney, that's short, no good. Rebounds back tap, and it's taken there by Banks. Banks quickly finds Brewer, and he'll get into the front court for FIU. Down one here, 4 minutes, 45 seconds in. Brown spins on Ezekpe, throws up the running one-hander and hits it. Levon Brown, the 6'8 grad student out of Vanderbilt in San Antonio, Texas. His two-pointer gives the Panthers an 8-7 lead here, 14:56 to play in the first. Hunter now. The size advantage of Brewer. Snap pass to Kaiser. Kaiser gets to the elbow. Drive and dish, and it's knocked out of bounds. 56, all too familiar words. Offensive droughts for Old Dominion this year. They've got the basketball. Attacking the basket to our right with just 8 to shoot. Coming off a screen, it's Kaiser. They go to Ezekpe. Quickly down to Trice for the flush. What a look from Ezekpe.
And Trice does what he knows how to do. As I said before, he didn't realize he was as open. He flushed that one as he knew no one was around him, and he knows how to clean it up.
FIU is off to a 2 for 7 start from 3. 7 of their 8 shots have been from beyond the arc. They love working that perimeter, and they love jacking up deep shots. But here they're inside. Double pumping layup, no good from Banks, but he's fouled by Kaiser. First personal foul against the Monarchs.
What you never want to have happen is the offensive player get the baseline position on you, and he can turn that corner. If you can trap him where he's caught between the backboard and the baseline, you're in good hands. But when he gets past you, as Kaiser, he was able to give up that position, more than likely you're going to pick up a foul.
Isaiah Banks is a 64% free throw shooter, misses the first. He'll get one more. Charles Smith, the 4th into the ball game for Old Dominion, replacing Makai Long. Second foul shot from Banks is good as it rattles around. He's got 4 points, and we're tied 9-9. Full court pressure now from Jeremy Ballard's FIU Panthers. Hunter runs the attack for Old Dominion. Averages 9 points, 4.5 assists for Old Dominion. Looking for cutters, gets it to Ezekpe, left corner. Back to Hunter on the wing. Here's Ezekpe, foul line extended. The jumper, no good. Trice there for the rebound, stripped away, but he gets it back, puts it up, draws the foul, and he'll go to the line.
Trice is a handful down inside. I mean, that's what he's known for, and that's where he eats. When the ball comes off the rim, I mean, he is so aggressive, and when he puts it on the floor once, you're going to foul him.
Mohamed Sanogo will pick up the personal foul, and Trice will go to the line where he's 0 for 2 tonight. He'll get 2 more. 9-9 our score. First free throw, no good.
And what makes it so difficult, everyone knows that when he gets it down inside, when I say everyone, the scouting report says he's going to be tough down there, but don't give it to him. Let's send him to the free throw line and make him earn it.
Old Dominion 9, FIU 9. And that free throw is good.
Austin's got to be one of the league leaders in free throw attempts.
Attempts, yes. Makes, no. 10-9 Old Dominion. FIU with the basketball. Tevin Brewer, boy, he's going to be a handful. Gets the ball to Denver Jones, who's into the lineup. Brown takes it to the hole. Ball knocked out of bounds. 12 to shoot for the Panthers. Dante Wilcox, a 6'6 redshirt freshman from West Palm Beach, also into the ball game. Jeremy Ballard going to his bench. Hockey line changes here as Aquan Smart, a 6'3 freshman from Evanston, Illinois, a transfer from Maryland, is into the ball game. Triggering the play, bringing the ball out to Brown. That is Javante Hawkins. Right-hand side, taking it into the hole with a running one-hander that's no good. Smart couldn't get it to go. Monarchs have the rebound and quickly into the front court to our right. Here's C.J. Kaiser. Backs it out. Fresh troops for Jeremy Ballard. Playing man-to-man. Kaiser to Smith in the right-hand corner. Pulls up for the 10-footer. That's no good. And the rebound comes down to Smart. Smart quickly into the front court. Left-hand side, Jones. Jones goes counterclockwise to the elbow, back to Brown. Brown runs into a familiar competitor, Kalu Ezikpe. This is Hawkins to Brown for three. That's no good. As a team, the Panthers shoot 35% from beyond the arc. They're not there here so far tonight. Here's Kaiser, throws it up off glass, and it's in. Oh, off the top of the backboard for C.J. Kaiser, and he'll go to the line for an and-one opportunity.
What a circus shot. I mean, Kaiser, he's keeping his head on the swivel, but he's just driving hard to the basket and really just takes the bump, throws it up, and that's what you do. You play it until the whistle, you hear the whistle,
and you throw it up.
And you throw it up.
First foul on Dante Wilcox. It's 12-9 Old Dominion, 12:37 to play in the first half. C.J. Kaiser's first trip to the line, 83% free throw shooter. That's no good. And the Monarchs, just like they did on Thursday, having trouble from the free throw line, where they're 1 for 5 tonight.
Not helping themselves. Of course, on Thursday we saw the Monarchs had a chance to go up by 10, missed 3 free throws, and ended up, I think, going in the halftime by 3.
From the right blocks, Wilcox burrowing, loses it out of bounds. Also into the lineup, Peter Krivakopik, a 6'4" freshman from Budva, Montenegro. Likes shooting the threes, shooting 38% in league play.
Kalu Ezikpe has done a much nicer job in not getting those early fouls down inside, Ted.
12:05 to play in the half. Monarchs by 3. Bad pass from Kaiser, but the Panthers can't save it on the sideline. And the Monarchs will inbound with 15 on the shot clock. Old Dominion 45%. They're 5 for 11 from the field. The Panthers are 3 for 10. And just 2 for 8 from beyond the arc. But Old Dominion 1 for 5 shooting free throws, not taking advantage of the freebies. But as a team, they only shoot 67% from the line.
What made that a bad pass is with a spot. He threw a bounce entry pass, and he bounced it on the side of Kalu.
Here's Smith, the shot fake. Nice recovery there from Smart. And here's Ezikpe. Ezikpe backing down, brings it out to Smith. He'll take a 3. That's no good. Kaiser crashes and knocks the ball out of bounds. It'll be
this half only shooting about 20% from the free throw line.
Denver Jones running the attack for Jeremy Ballard's Panthers, who come in 5 and 10 in league play. Old Dominion at 6 and 9. Both teams battling for that number 5 seed in the conference tournament, which will get you a bye into the second round. Krivakopik, here's the 3. That's no good. Offside rebound for Charles Smith, the 4th. Smith, headman pass to Jalen Hunter. He's on the left-hand side, gets Kaiser at the top. Takes it to the hole, throws it again, high off glass. That's no good. Tipped up and in by Trice. The quick hands of Austin Trice, and he's got 9 to lead all scorers.
That was impressive. He timed his jump, and when the ball hit the rim,
what a move from Jones to the hole. Oh, mine. He's going to get the and-one opportunity. Denver Jones. His first field goal is of the spectacular variety.
I mean, that was a great move. Denver drives to it, and he goes between his legs, between his legs, and he splits the 2 defenders and then drives. That was a great individual play.
Kaiser picks up his 2nd personal foul. That means A.J. Oliver off Jeff Jones' bench. He'll come in replacing C.J. And Jones, an 88% free throw shooter, is going for the and-one. He's got it. 3 quick points, and it's a 14-12 Old Dominion lead.
Ted, that FIU offense allows that creativity. That's why they spread the floor and allow guys to do what they do individually.
And they play a lot of guys, so no one ever gets tired.
And you never know which guy's going to do that. So it's
Hunter, Trice, Long, Smith, and Oliver playing offense in the Hudson blue uniforms, leading FIU 14-12. That's a nice look from Smith to Trice, who lays it up again. They don't have an answer for Trice. He's got 11, and it's 16-12 Old Dominion. Jones once again. Provoke pick. Left-hand side, open for three. No good that time for Hawkins, and it's a one and done for the Panthers. 2 for 9 from deep. This is Hunter. So we head to the midway point of the first half. Long, down low to Trice. Trice back to Mackay. Mackay goes left baseline, inside to Trice, throws it up, yes, and he's fouled. Trice cooking with gas again. He had 25 in the first meeting, already more than halfway there now with 13.
You've seen that little commercial. They go into Trice. He sets up. Then he repositions himself just as he did, and Long went back to it.
Smart picks up the personal. That's the first on Smart.
It reminds me of a commercial where they said, "Feed the pig." You know, you take your coins.
Yep.
The guys are riding Price. They know that he's the guy right now that FIU is having a difficult time stopping him.
But he can't throw it in the ocean from a boat in terms of free throws, as he misses another one.
He's got to close the deal. I mean, if Old Dominion shoots the ball better from the free throw line, rather than 6 points, they'd be up 10.
18-12 Old Dominion. Trice 1 for 5 from the stripe. Smart working against Charles Smith into the right-hand corner to Denver Jones. Jones stopped by Mackay Long. Now it's Hawkins. Javante Hawkins amongst the trees. Almost throws the ball away. Kravokapic, he'll turn and fire for three. That's no good. Rebound tapped and chased into the corner, but Hawkins couldn't get there soon enough. Monarch basketball, 9:35 to play in the first. Boy, you live by the three, you die by the three. The Panthers just 2 for 11 from distance here, Billy.
Well, it's difficult. I mean, if you have a game plan, and I thought their game plan was try to not allow Old Dominion big people to take advantage of this game, but FIU hadn't had any success at that.
Here's Oliver taking it into the paint. Brings it back outside to Emo Essien, who's in for point guard duties. Here's Long in the paint. Throws it up, no, but he's going to get fouled and go to the line. Be the 5th team foul and the second on Equan Smart.
Long did a terrific job of even holding on to that ball. You can see where it was a line drive to him because the offensive player, the guard, wasn't looking at Long. He gave him a no-look pass, and just for him to be able to catch that was terrific.
Seth Pinckney also had a piece of Long's. And Mackay will go to the line for 2. Looking for his first points of the night. He averages 8.5 a game. First one's good. 19-12, Monarchs with their largest lead of the first half. One more for Mackay Long, the transfer from the University of Rhode Island. Used to wear these colors on a more permanent basis. Swish goes the second foul shot. He's got 2, and it's a 20-12 Old Dominion lead. Tevin Brewer back in the ball game. He's got 3 points, hit 1-3. Now it's Hawkins, Javante Hawkins, and Brewer. Swings it left-hand side to Denver Jones, guarded by A.J. Oliver. Jones puts it on the deck, gets in the paint, brings it back to Brewer. Straightaway 3 for Tevin is good.
You have to know where he is on the floor all the time. You can't wait, because once he gets it, and if you aren't there, you're too late.
And he's got license to shoot anytime he can. Here's Trice at the foul line. Pinckney wants to stop his passing effort. He goes to Mackay Long. Mackay stopped there, gets the ball back to Trice, and he's going to be fouled by Pinckney. And Seth will pick up his first. 8:33 to play in the first half. Old Dominion 20 and FIU 15.
Well, Trice sort of set himself up for the drive. Remember, he hit a couple early on from about 10 feet, and that opened up the drive for him. So he did a nice job of that.
Hunter to inbound, brings it to Trice at the top. Austin hands it to Jalen. Left-hand push pass to Oliver, and he'll catch and shoot. We've got a man down. And see who the foul's against. It looks like it's going to be against Kalu Ezekpe with an illegal screen on Denver Jones. Jones went down hard. A little pushed out of the way there by the big fella, Ezekpe.
sometimes you look at some of those fouls, and, of course, the officials are going to look, as they always do, anytime there's an elbow to the face or something like that. They're always looking to see if it's a flagrant, if it's done purposely. That one just seemed to be incidental. It was not
just a push-off, just a simple push-off. It seemed, I don't think it was high, but the officials are taking a look at the replay. And, Billy, let's get to the importance of this game. Everybody makes the Conference USA postseason tournaments. 7 teams in East Division, the East and West. If you're 6 or 7 at the end of the regular season, you play on Tuesday in a play-in type game. If you're 5 or above, you get Tuesday off. The more days you can get off at a tournament, the better. And these teams are battling for the 6 and 5 spots in the East. As of right now, Old Dominion has a 1-game lead over FIU. Well,
you look at, and I said precursor, both of these teams have had to play on Thursday and Saturday. These kids, and they're engaging them, these kids are tired. FIU has gone to his bench very early to try to preserve his starters and their energy. You can imagine going to a tournament, having to try to play, and you should be fortunate to win, to play not 1 but 2 but 4 games. That's quite a monumental task. The more you can slice off that assignment, the better. Oh, yeah. Hawkins and Brewer, along with Jones and Pinckney and Brown on the floor, attacking the basket to our left for FIU, head coach Jeremy Ballard. This is Brown into the corner. Hawkins puts it on the deck to the elbow. Alley-oop. There's a flush for Cleavon Brown. His second field goal. It's a 20 to 17 ball game. I think Ray Charles saw that play being set up. I mean, as soon as the big fellow cut to the basket, I said, oh, this is going to be a lob for a dunk. 8-point lead evaporating quickly for Old Dominion. It's down to just 3. Here's A.J. Oliver. That one's no good. He tries to draw the foul. No, but Trice is there for the offensive board on the putback. And Brewer is down. Beating the best in your league, right, on your home floor. I mean, not only by close wins, you feel like you have an opportunity to do something in the tournament. Well, in a one-and-done scenario, in a one-bid league, you just have to put it together when you go to Frisco. And that's what both these teams are thinking. If they can play, they can beat the best. Here's Brown on the right, blocks. Little room in the paint, brings it back to Pinckney. Now to Jones. Denver Jones fires and hits. Jones has proven that he's very capable. And he's one of those guys that, I mean, from what I've seen, you have to play him straight up. You have to get there when the ball is delivered to him. He leads the Panthers with 6. This man, Austin Trice, leads the game as he takes it to the hole and adds to his 15-point total. Ring up 17 in the first half for Austin Trice. And FIU, I'm sorry, Ted, FIU's, their bench is just shaking their head. They don't know how this kid is able to score at will. 24-20, Old Dominion. Here's Jones catching and shooting. That's no good. Rebound batted around from Hunter to Kalu. Gets it back to Jalen. Hunter to Oliver, who steps into a 3. That's no good. And that's going to go against Trice, I believe, as he pushed Pinckney out of the way. And that'll be Austin Trice's first personal foul. Not sure if Jeff Jones is going to like that from A.J. Oliver, before anybody shows up to rebound 3. And he goes to the pine. Yeah, that was an ill-advised shot. Again, when you get in the shot clock very early with 30 seconds, no one was really under to tap in a potential miss. But not only that, your offense is not able to set up, and the defense is just there. It's like they played a zone that time. Well, especially when you're having so much success down low, why shoot 3s, which is not in your team's regular routine? That's when you become most disciplined. Hawkins and Jones working the perimeter right now. Denver has a screen. Now he works on Charles Smith. Gets the ball to Lovett into the right-hand corner. Banks. Now Brown. Shoots over Trice. No good. Smith the rebound for the Monarchs. Heading toward the 6-minute mark. One bounce, awful pass stolen there. Tried to get it to Kalu, but telegraphed it, and too much traffic. Jones to Hawkins. Hawkins facilitating to Lovett into the corner. Banks brings it back to Eric Lovett. Lovett had 16 in the first meeting between these two. Left-hand side, Hawkins fakes left, going against the much bigger Ezekpe, looking for the mismatch now. Thinks speeds it, goes into the corner. There's an open 3 for Banks. That's no good, and the rebound comes down to Hunter. Hunter into the front court. Heard Jeff Jones say, slow the horses down. Monarchs by 4 here in Norfolk, looking to earn that first-round bye in the tournament. Trice, snap pass down low, Ezekpe, layup good, and he's fouled. A snap pass from Trice to Ezekpe, and Kalu's on the board looking for the and one. Well, it set up it makes us look like we know what we're talking about, Ted.
I don't know about that.
Well, you know, Trice gets it. He's very patient, and you know he's allowing the defense to determine where they're going to cover. They go out to step out to play the jump shooter, and Ezekpe cuts to the basket. Trice and Ezekpe playing together, and when they're playing together very well, Old Dominion is very tough.
Kalu has caught the can't hit a free throw bug from the rest of his Monarch teammates. Old Dominion now 1 for 6 from the foul line tonight. They lead it by 6, 26-20. Hawkins into the corner. Jones fakes the three over. Hunter brings it back outside. Javante working against one of the better defenders in Conference USA, Mekhi Long. Now they go to Brown. Back to Hawkins here. He'll take a wing three. That's no good. Had an open look, but couldn't get it to fall. Trice another rebound. He's headed toward a double-double here in the first 15 minutes. Here's Austin. Picks up the dribble. Pass to Long. Long the strength. Can't get it to go, but Ezekpe taps it in for Old Dominion.
What a tip in. But Long should have made that. A lot of times on the opposite side, Long will pick up 6'1" or 6'2" guard. He has tremendous opportunities for those mismatches.
Hawkins, a nice job defensively to keep Mekhi from having an easy path, but Ezekpe was there for the tip in to increase the Monarch lead to 28-20. Brown at the other end can't get one over Trice. Ezekpe, baseball pass or football pass out to Hunter. And we've got a foul stopping the fast break. Probably a good foul there from Javante Hawkins of FIU. 4:28 to play, first half action. 28-20, Old Dominion leads FIU. And the wave of Panthers keeps coming off Jeremy Ballard's bench. They can play at a frenetic style because they go deep. The Monarchs, a much shorter rotation for Jeff Jones. And Jalen Hunter will have a 1-and-1 opportunity.
Well, if you're wondering, Tevin Brewer, their leading scorer, he averages 15 a game. He has yet to come back in the game. He went out after
limping a bit.
Yeah, he challenged a jump shot by Oliver and evidently came down on his ankle. We have yet to see him return to the game.
He's the guy that really makes him go really quick with the basketball. Hunter makes the first free throw. He gets one more. Second one is good. Hallelujah, if you're a Monarch fan, a couple of free throws go in, and the lead is 10 at 30-20 with 4:23 to play in the first half.
That's what leaders do. They show you how to do it and get it done. You step up there and you hit the free throws.
Jones to Smart, and they're working with Banks on the left side. Now Denver Jones goes right side. Grokapik into the corner. Jones hoists the three. That's well off the mark. Trice, an uncontested rebound. Outlet pass. Hunter goes to Mekhi Long. Comes down to Charles Smith IV. He gets hassled, and he decides to wait for his mates. Great decision from Charles Smith IV, whose handle isn't the best on the team. So he gets the ball to the point guard, Hunter. The Monarchs go to work with 12 on the shot clock. Hunter thinking downstairs. Ezekpe has it in the left-hand corner with Brown on him. Does the spin move, gets past Brown and lays it up and in. What a move from Kalu Ezekpe, who's got 6 points, and the lead is 32-20. Time 8%. This is a team that usually shoots 43% from the field. So it's comeback time before the half. That's the mission for the Panthers. Here on the road, not an easy assignment. Jones, right-hand side, Banks. Now it's Smart. Puts it on the deck, spins past, but forgets the basketball. Mekhi Long, straight down Broadway. He takes it up and lays it in. Steal, stroll, scoop, score for Mekhi Long, and the lead is 14.
I like his control that time. He didn't rush it, didn't speed it.
That's a great point, Billy, because oftentimes those fast breaks turned into breaking fast.
Oh, no question. And as you said, he does so many things well on the basketball floor, and he plays smart. Good move by Mekhi Long.
Panthers in a scoring drought of 4 minutes, 31 seconds. Peter Krivokapek is going to try and get him out of that as the inbound side court with Ezekpe in front of him. Brings it into Denver Jones. Jones on the right-hand side. They haven't gotten Pinckney going yet. Smart into the corner. Banks now probing to Smart. Fakes the three. Back to Smart. And that three's no good. Check it. That was Isaiah Banks with the miss from straight away. 34-20 Old Dominion. Their largest lead is right now. Austin Trice, 17 points for Old Dominion, 6 for Ezekpe, 5 for Hunter, 4 for Mekhi Long, 2 for C.J. Kaiser. Here's Charles Smith, the fourth, trying to jump into the scoring column, and he can't do it. Another missed three, and Smart quickly is in the front court, and that's going to be a foul. Mekhi Long going for the steal from behind, picks up his first personal. Still, the Monarchs are not over the foul limit. Tevin Brewer has 6, Denver Jones 6, Isaiah Banks 4, Cleavon Brown 4, the scorers for FIU. Here's Smart as Pinckney hits the deck. Krivakopik against the Ezekpe, gets to the right baseline, picks up the dribble there, brings it back to Smart quickly, left-hand side. Banks puts it on the deck, gets to the foul line now. 9 to shoot. Jones steps back, Long 2, no good. Rebound batted around, taken by Long. One and done for the Panthers. Mekhi Long sees an opening, goes right-hand side. Here's Hunter's 3, good.
Look who turns to the point guard. Long continues to press the issue on offense, and he ends up throwing a nice pass to the point guard.
37-20 Old Dominion. Banks now against Mekhi Long, gets past him. Oh, a double pumping layup. What a move from Isaiah Banks. He's got 6, and that stops the bleeding for the moment. 37-22 Old Dominion. Couple of spectacular moves from the Panthers, who go zone here, Billy.
2-3 zone that time. They're trying to slow the Monarchs down.
Smith will try and shoot him out of it. That's one way to do it. A 3 for Smith, who's on the board, and it's 40-22.
What opens that up is the ball just moving so quickly.
Meanwhile, taking it to the hole, scoring the bucket is Denver Jones, and will go to the line for the and one. Monarchs getting the offense going. They've got 40 on the board with 57 seconds to go in the half.
Well, Jones, is, as I said, he's proven that he can score the basketball, and he's very aggressive with the basketball. He's able to put it on the floor, and he'll shoot the shot from 15 for 20, and that's twice that he's been able to drive to the basket and get an and one, or at least another foul.
He had 17 in the first meeting between these two teams. Swishes the free throw, and now he's got 9. Averages 12.5 a game. It's a 40-25 Old Dominion lead, counting down from 53 seconds. Hunter and Smith and Oliver, Trice and Mekhi Long. Here's Hunter. What a look for Trice! Austin with 19 and another flush. It's 42-25. Hawkins dribble handoff. Banks, it's the ball to Brown, down low for Pinckney. Slapped away by Charles Smith, but it comes right to Hawkins, who finds Banks. He goes the other way to find Denver Jones into the corner. Banks left-hand dribble, no look pass into the corner. Sweet little pass there. Jones takes it baseline, up and over Oliver, no good. And the rebound's tapped to Jalen Hunter. 10 on the play clock. Here we go. Monarchs with an opportunity. Here's Smith for 3 from the wing. Off the iron, no good. Rebound batted off Oliver, and it'll go. Night celebrating Old Dominion basketball. Monarch fans also celebrating a 42-25 halftime lead over FIU. Ted Alexander, former Monarch captain Billy Mann here in Norfolk, and wherever you are on this Saturday, thanks for joining us. Conference USA men's basketball with Denver Jones, and Billy, you brought up a good point. Tevin Brewer nowhere to be seen in the warm-ups for FIU before the start of the second half, but meanwhile Eric Lovett's on the board with his first points, a 3 from the corner.
That offense of FIU is designed for everybody to take part and has the ability.
And here's Trice to the hole, puts it up, no, but he draws a foul. Monarchs shot 57% in the first half, FIU 34, and the leading scorer in the contest is making his way to the foul line, Austin Trice. For Old Dominion, 19 points on 9 for 10 shooting. Problem if you're looking for an overall grade on Trice, just 1 for 5 from the foul line. Added a game-high 8 rebounds in the first 20 minutes. First free throw's good from Trice. He's got 20.
That's Pinckney's second foul, and the reason why that's so important, he is FIU's tallest player, and I mean he's thin, slightly built, but he's the tallest player And once he goes to the bench, it makes it even more difficult for their big people to stop Trice.
Trice makes good on both foul shots, and the lead is 44-28. Jones and Banks along with Pinckney, Lovett, and Brown with the basketball for FIU to start this second half. Down the left-hand side, hesitated. Pinckney puts it up. That's no good. Rebounds battled around, chased down by Isaiah Banks. Brings it back to Lovett. He catches and fires a three and hits it. And Lovett's hit the first two shots of the second half for FIU. Good sign for the Panthers. They're within 44-31.
They aren't going to go anywhere, and we know that they shoot a lot of three-pointers, and they shoot like 36 to 37% from the free three.
C.J. Kaiser is going to be pushed by Lovett, who'll pick up his second personal foul. It'll be interesting, Billy, because the Monarchs have shown a propensity to blow leads and not keep the foot on the gas, and that's certainly what FIU is hoping happens here in half number two.
Yeah, blow a lead is correct, so that's always a possibility.
Inbounds comes to Kaiser. Will he remain patient? The Monarchs' leading scorer, who's off to a slow start in the scoring column. Here's Trice with a little brick that's going to be short. Comes down into the waiting arms of Isaiah Banks. Now Denver Jones showed some quickness in the first half, and again he goes to the corner, and that three is no good. High rebound comes down to Trice. 1-on-4 for Jalen Hunter. Gets the ball to Long. Back to the point guard. Man-to-man defense starting out for Jeremy Ballard's Panthers. Here's Mekhi Long. Spins on the left-hand side, loses his footing, and that was a turnover waiting to happen, and it did.
Yeah, that was an example of Mekhi Long trying to do a little too much, and he kind of got off the rails when he went down. He should have just picked the ball up. He just tried to do a little bit too much.
Monarchs' largest lead was 18. It's now 13 at 44-31, 2 minutes into the second half. Oh, the three-point shot can get you back in a jiffy. Here's Lovett, who's hit two since intermission. Gets a screen from Pinckney, hands the ball back to Banks. He puts it on the deck, takes it down Broadway, and lays it in. Isaiah Banks now with 8, and it's 44-33, and the fans who are settling back in their seats here at Chartway Arena in Norfolk are feeling a bit unsettled.
Well, if you're FIU, you're getting a little bit excited. Of those last few buckets, they have not been of the three-point variety. They've been driving to the basket.
Had a slow first half down at Charlotte on Thursday, and there's a nice feed into Trice, who can't hit the bunny. And here comes Denver Jones. Made a game of it in the second half at Charlotte on Thursday before falling to the 49ers. Here's Banks putting his head down, throwing the ball away, getting it back. A one bounce into the corner, and the three comes from Brown. Look out below. Suddenly we've got ourselves a ball game. It's 44-36. An 8-0 run, and since halftime, an 11-2 FIU advantage. Here's Kaiser to Ezekpe. Oliver on the wing to Hunter at the top. The man-to-man defense has been effective. Monarchs this half hadn't been able to do much. Here's Ezekpe putting an end to that for the moment. His first field goal of the second half. Monarchs' first field goal of the second half. It's 46-36. Jones with a pass into the corner to Banks. Tries to get past Kaiser. Pushes him out of the way. Doesn't lay it in. The late call is going to be whistled on C.J. Kaiser, who picks up his third personal foul. C.J. hasn't gotten in the flow tonight. Just 1 for 3 from the field. Has 2 points.
Well, tonight, this, again, that was just mano a mano, and there was Jones, I believe, who was driving to the bucket, and he doesn't mind putting the basketball on the floor and taking a contact.
Isaiah Banks misses the first free throw. He's 2 for 4 from the stripe.
Banks, I'm sorry, and really Kaiser plays that way. He plays the same way that Banks does.
Banks, the senior out of Conyers, Georgia, misses both free throws, and Trice gets in front of anybody who wanted to grab that carom. The full court pressure, beaten by a pass from Jalen Hunter to his co-captain, Kalu Ezekpe. Now Jalen's got it back, puts it on the deck, leans in, backs out against the man-to-man defense of Denver Jones. Hunter, thinking about Trice, goes to Austin with a one bounce. He's on the left blocks. Trice, he's a left-hander, puts it up, no good, gets his own rebound. Again, nobody's fouled.
For their entire game thus far, and that's what I mean. Both teams playing under control and really just letting it battle out.
Trice goes to the line. He's got 21 points, 11 rebounds, and that's not good. This half, FIU 3 for 4 from beyond the arc, 4 for 6 overall. Old Dominion 1 for 4 shooting this half. It's a 46-36 Monarch lead here at home in Norfolk. That one's no good. And so the free throw bug continues to bite Old Dominion. The Monarchs 7 for 15 shooting foul shots.
Trice has 21, Ted, and imagine if he hit his free throws, he'd probably already have 30.
Lovett's going to get nudged, and he's going to be fouled by Trice, who's going to pick up his second. Second team foul on the Monarchs.
Now you get into that area with Trice having that second foul.
One more and the whole game changes.
The entire game.
Or at least the scheme has to change for Old Dominion.
It will change.
Jones, baseline right, loops it into Brown, guarded tightly by Ezekpe. Now Jones has it quickly to wide open. Dante Wilcox turns and fires and hits. That's his first field goal. And it's 46-38. And the Rut-Rows have hit the fans here at Chartway Arena, as they've seen this movie before. If Old Dominion holds on to win, they secure a first-round bye at the conference tournament. If not, look out. There's Jalen Hunter missing a little 16-foot jumper. Ezekpe knocks it out of bounds, trying to get it back from Banks.
Yeah, that time, Ted, when you said that he was just a foot behind the free throw line, that's a 16-footer, and that was wide open. And that shot is, I mean, that shot is available anytime, especially in today's basketball.
5 minutes into the second half. Old Dominion led by 17 in intermission, and that lead has been whittled down to 8. Brown against Trice with the 2 fouls, working into the paint, waiting, shooting, scoring. You could tell that Austin Trice didn't want to have anything to do with Cleavon Brown right there. Brown's got 9, and it's 46-40. Oliver into the front court for Old Dominion. Monarchs just 1 for 5 this half. Hunter to Ezekpe, quickly back to Jalen. One bounce to Trice. Trice working against Wilcox, and Wilcox will pick up the personal. But if you can't hit free throws, the fouls aren't nearly as expensive.
It's not a bad thing. I mean, and they're fouling the right guy, meaning Trice. Although he's not shooting free throws, it's a nice play, interior pass that Hunter made down into Trice to get him open. The Monarchs have been willing to give Trice the basketball. You have to give it to him.
14 fouls on FIU. 5.5 minutes into this second half. Here's Trice again with Brown there. He'll shoot from the right elbow, and that's no good. No one around for the rebound. And here comes FIU with a chance to cut into this lead that's been whittled to 6. Here's Hawkins for 3. Javante Hawkins joins the party with one from deep, and it's 46-43.
And FIU feeling, I mean, every time they hit a shot or take a shot, the entire bench stands up.
18-4, the run for the Panthers here in this second half. Trice now with Wilcox playing the defense on him to Makai Long on the right wing. This is Ezekpe. Hunter fakes right, goes left, down low to Trice, knocked out of his hands by a quick-acting Eric Lovett. 6 to shoot for Old Dominion.
Well, the obvious adjustment, FIU made that adjustment. They put pressure on the basketball when Old Dominion is bringing it up, try to speed them up, get it out of Jalen's hands. And then they said when Trice gets it down inside, hey, don't worry about it, just foul him. Don't send him to the foul line.
Hunter to Smith, that's well short. Brown comes down with the rebound. Cleavon Brown, 6'8", grad student out of San Antonio. Here's Hawkins. Just hit a 3. It's a 3-point ball game. Who would have thought that at halftime when it was 42-25? Runner from Smarts. No good, but a late foul is called.
That was definitely a foul. It was, I mean, it was a push. It was an obvious push. And I was surprised the official didn't call it. But as you can see,
there's that third foul on Austin Trice.
it was an obvious push. I mean, he stuck his arm out. There's the push there on the jump shot.
After the shot was gone. There's not much you can do. It's not going to help the defense right there.
And the player is still in the air. So, I mean, until his feet touched the floor.
No, I understand why it was a foul.
Yes.
But I'm saying why even contact him? The ball's already gone.
The ball is over his head and is gone already.
Smart misses the first. He's a 55% free throw shooter. The second one rattles in. And it's a 2-point game.
13 minutes, 22 seconds. Trice goes out.
Full court pressure from the Panthers, who've almost erased the entire 17-point halftime deficit. It's a 19-4 run to start the half for FIU. They come in a game behind Old Dominion in league standings. Both are battling for a first-round bye. This is Kalu Ezikpe. Jab step against Pinckney. Once and twice. Gets past him. Reverse layup. No good. Makai Long there to cash it in. Finally, the Monarchs were there for an offensive rebound off the miss. 48-44. Hawkins deep on the left wing. Into the corner he goes to Lovett. Lovett crosses over. Gets short. Layup. Yes. Eric Lovett has come alive with 8 points in the first 7.5 minutes of the second half.
Lovett and Banks, they've stepped up.
48-46, Old Dominion, 12.5 to play. What many thought might be a cruise control second half has turned into a barn burner. Here's Ezikpe, turns into Lovett, who draws the foul. That's his third. Again, no Tevin Brewer. The leading scorer from FIU had 6 points in the first half, came down awkwardly trying to defend a shot, and we haven't seen him since.
Have to give the Monarchs credit. They keep following the script, that time trying to go down inside to Ezikpe.
Wilcox has the man-to-man defense on Kalu. Now it's Hunter. Snap pass down low through traffic. Bad idea. Another turnover. Here comes Smart coast to coast. Left-hand side Hawkins. Back to Smart, who bumbles it into Jalen Hunter's hands. Hunter ahead of the field. Drives, lays it up and in.
Hunter goes, look what I found.
50-46, Old Dominion. Quickly into the front court. It's Hawkins, step back three. That's no good. One and done this time for the Panthers. Smith into the corner to Makai Long, guarded by the much smaller Javante Hawkins. Finds Ezikpe. Gravokapak is on him. Kalu brings it out. 11:39 to go, 50-46 Old Dominion in what's turned into a ball game. Long on the left blocks. They double team him there. He throws it away to Hawkins. Awful play. Great defensive play. Gravokapak puts it on the deck, gets into the paint, brings it back to Pinckney. Pinckney will wait for Smart. Aquan Smart against Makai Long. Puts it on the deck, goes coast to coast, throws it up. Nobody draws the foul. Other side, 21 for Austin Trice, 10 for Jalen Hunter, 8 for Kalu Ezikpe, 6 for Makai Long, 3 for Charles Smith, 2 for C.J. Kaiser. It's a 2-point ball game here in Norfolk with 11:11 to play. Jalen Hunter into the front court to our left. Makai Long back to Hunter. Want to get the ball to Ezikpe against this zone defense now. Monarchs have had trouble against zones in the past, a.k.a. Western Kentucky. Oliver to the hole with a scooping layup that's good, and he's fouled. A.J. Oliver finds his way to the score sheet in spectacular fashion.
And what made that so spectacular, you can see A.J., he drives to the basketball with his left, and then he uses the rim to protect the ball, and he was able to scoop it in. And Pinckney, I think, picks up his third, if that's who that's on.
That was on Pinckney, yes. Seth Pinckney, 3 personal fouls. A.J. Oliver.
Nice senior move, nice a veteran move for A.J. to drive the ball with his left and had this presence of to use the backboard or the rim to shield the defender.
He makes the free throw. It's a 53-48 Old Dominion lead, 10:50 to play in Norfolk. Jones to Pinckney. Left-hand side, Hawkins splits defenders, loses the basketball. Another turnover for the Panthers at an inopportune time. Hard to split those defenders without incident, and Javante couldn't right there. Here's Hunter with a screen from Ezikpe into the right-hand corner, Charles Smith. Smith eyeing up Banks, now to Oliver. Oliver spins back to Ezikpe. 10 to shoot for Old Dominion. Kalu goes left baseline. One bounce, lively into the corner. Charles Smith, 3!
What a great pass from your center, Ezekpe. I mean, baseline.
Like a magic trick.
Yeah, it was. What a terrific pass.
56-48, Monarchs getting a little more separation here. Big possession. They're all big for the Panthers and the Monarchs, but as you see, a 2-point lead turn to an 8-1. This is a time for Banks to be called for steps. Oh, they're going to call a foul, and the Monarch fans here in Norfolk don't like that.
The ODU faithful don't agree with that call. It appeared
they were thinking steps maybe here on Banks.
that was definitely a 3-step.
They're going to call the foul on Charles Smith. That'll be his first.
And Smith had good position. I mean, he never brought his arms down, so that wasn't a play. And the offensive player wasn't trying to shoot it, so play on.
15 foul on the Monarchs. 9:50 to play, 56-48 Old Dominion. Jones gets the man-to-man defense, gets the ball to Wilcox, who takes it down the right side, spins, pass deflected, stolen by Oliver. Leaves for Hunter, and ODU's into the front court. Oliver feeling it. Feeling the ball kicked to Ezekpe, who turns, fires, misses. Mackay battled for the rebound, but it comes to Javante Hawkins. So the turnover erased by FIU. Hawkins to Banks. Goes to the blocks now. Here's Brown, has been effective. Puts the shoulder into Ezekpe, who's playing with a couple of fouls. Fumbles and bumbles back to Jones for an open 3, and that one's no good. Good box out from Ezekpe, gets the ball to Hunter. Now Mackay long. Back to Jalen. To a trailing Ezekpe. Puts the ball on the deck, takes to the hole. He's fouled early. And they'll call it on Isaiah Banks. And things have gotten a little more physical, Billy.
They have. I would like to see, again, when you look at, that play, it was a trail when Hunter gets it in Ezekpe. I mean, he drives to the basket strong with his left hand, which is, his weaker hand, and he's able to pick that up, foul.
The reach-in foul there, Billy. It's a 1-and-1 opportunity as the Panthers are over the foul limit. The first one, good.
In this offensive set with that group, Mackay Long ends up always, as I've continued to say, with a smaller guard. And you see an opportunity for him to take advantage of some of those mismatches down inside.
Ezekpe's second free throw rattles out, no good. He goes 1 for 2. It's a 57-48 Old Dominion lead. Here's Jones racing into the right wing area, guarded by A.J. Oliver. A screen from Wilcox, who rolls to the hole. They get the ball around the left to a 3 from Hawkins. No good. It rimmed the basket, but would not go down. Under 9 minutes to play. A ferocious comeback from 18 down brought FIU to within 2, and that's going to be another turnover on the Monarchs. Unforced error, and we'll go the other way. A 7-0 run for Old Dominion over the last 2:15.
That becomes a mental error at that point. I mean, that's a play that the Monarchs run continually over and over again, and for whatever reason, they got out of sync.
Trice back in the ball game, playing with 3 fouls. Jones to the hole, got bumped before the shot, and they'll call it, I believe, on Jalen Hunter. And they're calling everything now. Hunter's first, 6th on the team, inbounds play for FIU.
Well, against these
I mean,
guards.
Is that a foul? In the context of the second half, I guess it is.
Well, FIU, those guards, they are forcing the contact. And if you aren't continually moving your feet, the officials are going to call that. And you have to play how the officials are.
Jones to Banks on the wing. Wilcox hangs back to Isaiah into the corner. Brown puts it on the deck. Could have called that a foul. Didn't. Here's Jones with 5 on the shot clock from the right wing. Gets past Hunter, and a reach-in foul on Jalen Hunter. And it'll be free throws now the rest of the way for both teams as both are over the foul limit.
Sometimes, Ted, when the whistle blows so quickly, it almost seems the official, the official's anticipating a foul.
Well, a little hack in there with the left hand from Hunter going for the steal, and Jones will go to the line. He, the 88% free throw man, who's 4 for 4 from the stripe tonight.
But I will say that a lot of times when that chopping motion will get you a foul. And that's why coaches always tell you, you know, palms up, reach up, don't chop down. And that's on a shooter or either a driver.
Denver Jones to bring the Panthers to within 7. He does. And he's got 11 points here tonight to lead the Panthers. Again, no Tevin Brewer this half. Like a lower right leg issue in the first half as he looked to turn an ankle. Oliver and Long working for the Monarchs. Now it's Hunter. Man-to-man defense again. Battling going on downstairs. Charles Smith with 10 on the shot clock goes behind his back against Aquan Smarks man-to-man. Here's Oliver into the corner to Long. Long drives right baseline, turns, fades, fires, way off. Rebound comes down to Denver Jones. Renewed life for the Panthers. Banks goes to Smart. Smart to the foul line, picks up the dribble there. His pass deflected. Another pass deflected. Headman pass. 2 turnovers in a row for the Monarchs. They got the first one back, but the second one comes to Eric Lovett. Sloppy basketball, looking for the easy scores. Smart, Jones, Brown now against the 3 foul-laden Austin Trice. Throws it up with the right hand, well off, no good. Trice another rebound. Heading toward the 7-minute mark in a game that's gotten a little sloppy. Hunter, left side, Oliver to the baseline, up and under move. He's hammered and he'll go to the line. When we come back to Chartway Arena in
from the free throw line, they're only shooting 50%.
Oliver will get a pair toward the bucket to our left. Monarchs in those Hudson blue uniforms tonight. First one's good. 58-50.
Free throws are so important right now.
Old Dominion 10 for 19 from the stripe. Make that 11 for 20. A couple of smooth string teasers from A.J. Oliver, who will now leave in favor of C.J. Kaiser. Oliver looking for some noise from the fans as he heads to the Monarch bench, and they're obliging.
What's interesting, both teams are not being led by our leading scorers.
Other people have to step up. You'll need to do that come tournament time. Why not start early? Brown in the corner. Lovett for 3. Well, strong. The ball's on the floor, picked up by Trice. And down goes a Panther. See who that is. That's Isaiah Banks. Hit the deck. Get another look at this as he's battling Trice. Went down almost. Didn't see what sent him down there, but it'll be Old Dominion basketball.
Yeah, I would think he would have to come out. I didn't see where it was a foul called. That was an official timeout.
Full court pressure from FIU. They get the ball into Hunter. Javante Hawkins is there, and Lovett's thinking about double teaming. He comes over to set the trap right now to Trice, quickly to Charles Smith. Smith ahead of the field, drive, layup, good.
That's nice play by the Monarchs to attack.
Yep.
To attack.
61-50, lead back to 11. It was 50-48 at one point. Smart with a jump stop move to the hole, and he lays it in. Oh, Aquan Smart with his first field goal. He's got 5, and it's 61-52. Panthers back to the man-to-man. Monarchs working the weave out top. C.J. Kaiser's been very quiet. Can he spark a late run for Old Dominion to seal this deal? Kaiser guarded by Jones, brings it to Hunter at the top. 8 to shoot for Old Dominion to Smith. Smith forgot the basketball, and he's going to pick up a personal foul. And quickly, A.J. Oliver's going to get back in the ball game as Charles Smith wasn't quite sure what to do with the ball.
You know, believe it or not, Ted, it was actually a good play. He saw an opening there, but, I mean, when he starts to cut, look, he starts to cut even before the defender steps. It was just poorly executed.
His thigh got in the way.
The idea was there.
And the problem is he was frustrated, fouled Cleavon Brown, and it's free throws the rest of the way for both teams. So Brown goes to the stripe for the first time, and the first of the 1-and-1 is no good.
High-risk move that time, but I saw what he was attempting to do.
Oh, there was a lane there. There was definitely a good decision to go. He just didn't execute it. That's well put. 5.5 to play, 61-52 Old Dominion. Kaiser now, right-hand corner long, quickly down low to Trice, and the layup is good. 23 for Austin Trice, and the lead's back to 11.
And Long actually saw Trice. He said 2 passes and you'll be open.
Hawkins into the corner they go. Lovett won't fire from there. Smarts thinks about the 3 and puts it on the deck, takes it to the hole, and C.J. Kaiser's going to pick up his 4th personal foul. And again, it's shots the rest of the way. 5:06 to play.
And watching this, C.J. did pick up the foul.
Yeah, that's a bump.
Foul.
But the first step burned him. That's why he was on the shoulder.
And what happens defensively when the offensive player gave him a jab step, he got out of his defensive position, stood up, and that allowed the offensive player to drive the basketball.
So Smart's back at the line. He missed his first. He's made 3 in a row since then, and he missed that one. Panthers not taking advantage of their front end of 1-and-1 opportunities that could help them get back in this ball game. They cut an 18-point lead to 2, but the Monarchs seem to have weathered that storm for the time being. We're under 5 to play. Trice at the free throw line. Down low. Whoa, what a great look to Ezekpe, and a layup for Kalu. Puts him in double figures, and the lead is 65-52.
As the season wears on, those 2 guys.
Coast of Virginia and lead at 65-52. Hawkins now. Not much time to waste if you're Jeremy Ballard's Panthers, who are 1 game behind Old Dominion in the race for that number 5 seed. The runner from Lovett, no, but they get the ball back. Pinckney into the corner. Here's Denver Jones, the 3. Oh, in and out, no good. Pinckney had the ball, but now doesn't. Hunter, head up, triple team, brings it back to Oliver. Oliver into the front court for ODU as we head toward the 4-minute mark. Trice, 23 points, 15 rebounds to lead Old Dominion. This is Ezekpe to Hunter on the left-hand side. Snap pass, Mekhi Long, straightaway 3, yes.
Nice, very nice cut by Mekhi to get to the open spot, and he was wide open, and you have to take the wide open shot.
Lead is back to 16 as Lovett takes it to the hole, fouled before the shot. But it'll be a 1-and-1 opportunity for Eric.
Critical at this point, Ted, with 3 minutes, a little over 3 minutes, is Old Dominion not fouling the offensive player, because that stops the clock. That gives FIU an opportunity to put points on the board and set their defense.
It'll be 2 shots rest of the way. Lovett missed the first.
That's a very important point.
Swish the second. He's got 9 points, and it's a 68-53 lead. Mekhi Long still looking, gets it into Jalen Hunter. Hunter to A.J. Oliver. You beat it with the pass, 2-on-1. Trice and Ezekpe went for the big dunk. No, and there's Ezekpe. Layup, good, and he's hacked from behind. And Trice hits the deck hard.
That's not good because he's holding his leg. I mean, I'm surprised that there wasn't a foul called on that. And that's not the guy you want to see go down or stay down.
Well, he went down in a game at Western Kentucky, twisted the ankle, but he was back the next game on Thursday. Another look at it, he and Pinckney went up. He was thinking slam dunk, and he came down awkwardly, I think, on top of Pinckney.
Man, I couldn't see how he came down on his leg.
Great block from Pinckney. And we won't try and speculate. He's working with athletic trainer Jason Mitchell.
Yeah, and he's just testing to see if he can put weight on it, which, from that standpoint,
good to see him walk off. Trice with 23 points, 15 rebounds, 3 assists.
They're going to have to close him out. They're going to have to not close it out without Mr. Trice on the floor, but great effort.
Ezekpe picked up the block, cashed in with the layup, and was fouled by Hawkins. And Kalu completes the three-point play, and the Monarchs match their largest lead. This one comes with 3:33 to play.
Remember, Ted, no fouling.
There's Pinckney, his first bucket. Again, full court pressure. Monarchs break it easily, 2-on-1. Kaiser and Long. Mackay's going to get dumped, and he goes down hard. And the fans aren't going to like this.
That's twice that Pickett has been involved in that. And it's a short bench, Ted. I mean, generally they go about 8 deep, maybe 9, but consistently
7 or 8.
This is 7 or 8. So you can ill afford to have anybody from that top not be available, especially Long. He does so many different things.
He's got to be an all-defensive team member in Conference USA. And Trice, I'm going to vote for him, or would vote for him as a first teamer. He leads the league in rebounding. He's a double-double machine and averaged double figures in points and rebounds. Of course, you look at the Monarchs' success, not nearly what other teams have had, and that might play a role in who gets to first team and that type of stuff. But I think Trice has energized this team, the reigning 6th man of the year in Conference USA.
But I think, Ted, with some of those wins against the better teams in the league, will play a role. I mean, he's done a terrific job.
Kaiser drives and can't get it to fall. Good box out there to keep Ezekpe away from another offensive rebound. It's a 73-55 Old Dominion lead. Make that 73-58 as Javante Hawkins nails another 3. He's got 6. And the full court pressure continues for the Panthers. Smith in the front court brings it back as we go under 3 minutes to play. Both teams in the double bonus free throw wise. Kaiser doesn't take the straightaway 3. Bleeds a little more clock. Smith will take a 3, and Smith will hit a 3.
It's nice to see him be able to make a contribution from what he's known for as being a sniper, as they call him.
Hawkins coast to coast, high off the glass, no, but it's tipped up and in by Brown. 76-60, 2:20 to play. Oliver brings it into Smith. Smith into the front court. Has a man open, Kaiser, wide open on the left wing. He'll burn some clock smartly. Monarchs don't need the points, they need the clock to go tick, tick, tick. Two minutes to play here in Norfolk. Hunter leaves for Kaiser. 5 on the shot clock. He'll go to work on Denver Jones. Now to Hunter. That shot good for 3. Jalen Hunter with the shot clock dying. Puts this dress in the bag for Old Dominion. At the other end, the jumper from Lovett's no good. 79-60. 95 seconds to play. Monarchs will go to 12-17 overall, 7-9 in the league. FIU will drop to 15-14, 5-11 in Conference USA play. Monarchs will secure the 5th seed. Step back from Kaiser, good. Just his second field goal, and it's of the cosmetic variety, but it brings the fans alive. Here's Jones for 3. That's no good. But Lovett chases down the rebound. He's still busting his butt. Misses that shot, though. Ezekpe as we go under a minute. Fans here haven't seen back-to-back Monarch wins in a month or so. But the last 2 games has shown Old Dominion's fan base what can happen if you play well. Smith comes alive. He's got 14. Got to be nearing a career high for Charles Smith. 83-60, 32 seconds to go. Jones into the corner. Hawkins back to Banks. That's no good. Brown the offensive rebound. Back to Lovett. He'll quickly hoist for 3. That's good. Barely touched the net, that Lovett 3. He's got 12. Shot clock is off. 17 seconds to play. Hunter will walk it into the front court. It's a 20-point ball game. And they come to their feet here at Chartway Arena in Norfolk. Final score, the Monarchs, who led by 17 at the half,